Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the first of our transition sessions for this year's Year 6 to 7. I'd like to say it's lovely to see you all, but I can't see any of you, so I'm hoping that you're all out there and you can all see me and see the screen as well. It's a really exciting time for you and your children to be joining the Skipton Academy. As I'm sure you're aware, we've recently had our latest Ofsted inspection, and we're very much celebrating being good in all areas. But as our principal, Mr. McManus, always says, this is only the start of it, and there's always plenty more work to be done. So a really exciting time for you all to be joining us, and also an exciting time for your children, because they are going to be in the biggest year group that the Academy has. You may have heard that we're actually oversubscribed for the first time in many, many years this year. We're going to be having 167 Year 7s joining us in September, which is really exciting, and that will mean a sixth form entry. So we're absolutely delighted that all the hard work of the staff in the Academy and the young people have got us to this stage. So really exciting time. Welcome to everybody. And I'm just going to give you a really brief overview of the plans for the next few months, so you have an idea of what's coming. Quick overview on the screen is really the process that we're going to go through today. So we'll talk a little bit about why we're doing the transition process and what will happen. I'm going to give you some key dates and things that might need to be done over the next few months. I'm going to tell you who the support team are and who you can contact if you've got any particular questions, if you've got anything that you want to say. And there will be a Q&A opportunity at the end. So I've popped a note in the Q&A area. If you have any questions as we go along, please feel free to type them in there. And Miss Brown, who is our head of Year 7 and transition, is sitting in another room collating questions as we speak. So she can share them with me and we'll do our best to answer them, hopefully tonight, but if not, over the following days and weeks. So let's start with the aims of our transition. Well, as you will know, starting a new school for any young person is difficult. It can be tricky in terms of managing emotions and many things, none more so than starting in secondary school. And I'll be honest and say it's hard for parents too. Sometimes it's harder for us as parents as it is for our young people. So we want to be able to support you through the process as much as we support the children. We want to make that as smooth as possible. We want to build positive relationships with you and with your children. And you will know at primary school, it's very easy to have contact with your primary teachers. You're in the playground frequently, you're there, you can pop in and have a chat. And we're very aware that that stops at the secondary level. So we want you to be able to meet key people over the next few months and really build relationships with them, so you know where to go in case you need support or your child needs support moving forward over the next 5.5 years. We want the young people to get a really good understanding of what life is like at the Skipton Academy before they start here, because of course that really helps them manage anxiety and worry about that big transition. They're going to be a part of transition activities. They're going to come and do some taster lessons to find out what it's like to attend school at the Skipton Academy. They're going to find out a little bit about extracurricular clubs and activities. They're going to participate in team building activities. So we're really hopeful that by the time the summer comes, they're not only excited about coming up to the Skipton Academy, but also feeling that they're fully understanding what's going on. So, quick overview for you of the transition process. As you know, the 1st of March is allocation day, and it's an exciting day for all of us. And you should have received by now a welcome letter for both you as parents and carers, and also for the children. And tonight, as I said, is simply an introduction really to the process and a welcome to the Skipton Academy. We're going to be sending out before the end of term a data collection form, and we'd like that returned, please, by the 17th of April. That form is simply for all of your information, all of the details for young people, just so we've got contacts ready set up for September. We're fully aware that SATs are coming up. I'll try not to mention that word again. But what's really important around that process is that we, myself, Mr. McManus, the other members of the leadership team will be basically visiting all of the primary schools over the next few months to say hello to the young people and to introduce ourselves and to talk to them a little bit about life at TSA. At the same time, Miss Brown and Mr. McDonnell, who's our Senko, will be holding meetings with all of our Year 6 primary colleagues to find out a little bit more about your young people. While the SATs results are obviously equally important, we hold equal importance in finding out what makes your children tick, what they're good at, what they enjoy, what their worries are. So we have a really holistic view of them as they start with us in September. If your child has a particular need or has an EHCP, Mr. McDonnell will be doing visits to primary schools to discuss those children. And of course, I'm sure if you want to be involved in that process, then you can speak to your primary Senko or Year 6 teacher as well to get involved. So that's happening in May. We have constructed a transition booklet, so in April we'll pass that on to you. It'll be available on the website, but we'll email that out as well. And then in June, we're going to invite your young people up here for some transition days. And we will also invite you to a welcome evening, and I'll show you some dates for that just on the next slide. So it's going to be a busy few months, but hopefully time for your children to really get to know the school, and also for you to have all those opportunities to speak to staff and ask questions. So, as I've already said, key date 17th of April is the digital data return form. On the 26th of June, we're going to be running a day for our students, or the students that might really struggle with that transition more than most. It's a day that's available for about 30 students, and it just supports them in getting ready for that process when they come in the next day for the full Year 6 transition day. So we'll then run 2 transition days on the 27th and the 28th of June. The transition days will be a mixture of bushcraft, which will happen in our fantastic school grounds, and the young people will learn how to make fires, they will gut fish, they will roast marshmallows, they might even eat the odd wood louse if they're interested in that as well. And round the bushcraft day, the children will also be having taster sessions, they'll meet their form tutors and generally be immersed in TSA life for a couple of days. On the evening of the 27th of June, we will have a parents' evening for all of you, so you can come up to the school and meet key staff and hear a little bit more from Mr. McManus and the team about TSA life. And then, of course, we flash forward to September. 5th of September is the first day for Year 7, and they will spend a decent amount of time in school on their own on that day. So our Year 11s will join the school after lunch, but the Year 7s will be in on their own for the whole morning, so they can just find their way around and get to know the school without all of the other students being in. And they then will join us Years 8 to 10 on the 6th of September. On the 7th of September and the 8th of September, we are splitting the year group, and we will be taking half the year group on each day to Nell Bank over in Ilkley for some team building activities. There's a small cost of £15 for that per student, but we'll give you more information about that nearer the time. But I don't know if you have been to Nell Bank, you'll know how fantastic it is in terms of outdoor activities. And if you haven't, it's definitely worth looking on the website. It'll give them, all the children, a real opportunity to team build, to get to know their forms, to get to know the staff, and hopefully give them a really, really positive start to their time in the academy. So, support team and key contacts. I'm not going to bombard you with names here, but there are 3 key pieces of information that you may need over the following months. The first one is just any general transition inquiries. Up there, you've got the transition email. Miss Brown, head of Year 7 in transition, her email is on there as well. And Mr. McDonnell, our assistant principal and Senko's email is on there. So hopefully some key people, but if you have any questions and you don't know where to direct them to, please do send them to the transition email, and we'll make sure that they're directed, they're sent in the right direction. I'm aware I'm flying through this, so what we will do is send this PowerPoint out afterwards, so you've got that information on there should you need it. So we'll hand over shortly to questions and answers, but we've tried to think about a few things that might come up that your young people or you might need answers to. So, will my child be in the same tutor group as their friends? So, as you can see up there, we have students joining us from many different primary schools. I think about 28 feeder schools this academic year. So some young people will come on their own, some will come in 2s or 3s, and others will come with most of their class. So where you have a child who's just coming with one other student, we will endeavour to put them in the same form, unless, of course, that's something that the young people don't want. If your child is coming from a school that's sending a lot of children, we will always ask the class teacher whether there's somebody that they would be best placed with. And so we will endeavour to make sure that they're with at least 1 or 2 other young people from their class. Again, if you have any serious concerns about who your child's placed with, that's something to get in touch with us about. Talk to us, speak to Miss Brown, and we will always do what we can to make sure that that start is really positive. My child has additional needs. What extra help will they get? Well, we endeavour here, and inclusion is incredibly important to us, and we really, really want to make sure that every child feels a part of our school every day. And that's why our school ethos is belong, challenge and inspire. And we start with belong because that's the most important element of our school life. So if you have any information that you want to share with us about your child, about additional needs, about SEND needs, then again, please get in touch with Miss Brown and Mr. McDonnell. We're really keen to make sure that all of those worries that you have are passed on to us so we can make that transition as smooth as possible. Will my child be able to take part in any clubs? Yes, absolutely is the answer to that. Education is so important to us, but we recognise that education just doesn't come in the classroom. It happens everywhere we go. And those extracurricular activities and trips and visits are incredibly important. And this year, our Year 9s have been to Belgium to explore the battlefields. Last year, our students went to Iceland, our geography students in Year 10. There are lots of different trips and visits that happen, theatre trips. Last year, at Christmas, we took all of Year 7 to the pantomime. So loads of opportunities to extend their cultural capital, but also we offer lots of clubs and activities in school. So students can do Duke of Edinburgh Gold Award from Year 9. We have Manga Club, we have STEM Club, Coding Club, we have sports clubs, we have art and baking, a really broad range. We're also a member of the Royal Shakespeare Company Associate Schools Programme. So there is an RSC club. Students have the opportunity to work with members of the RSC in order to develop their skills. Really, we have such a broad range. I can't remember all of them, but there will be something out there hopefully for everyone, and we really encourage the young people to get on board with that and sign up for as much as they can to really experience everything that the Academy has to offer. You might be starting to think about a uniform already, or if you're anything like me, you'll be waiting to the last minute in case they grow. Our school uniform supplier is called Skip to School in Skipton, and we do say order fairly early to ensure that the children have the right uniform. Obviously, we want them in the right uniform, but it's important for them as well, so they feel part of the school community. And the last slide from me, last question, what happens if my child is absent from school? So we all know that attendance is absolutely key to student success. And so we would expect all students to attend as much as they can. Naturally, if the student's attendance falls below a certain percentage, then we're going to work with you to offer that support and to help young people. Help your children to feel well and feel able to access the curriculum and access our school life. So that's really it from me, a whistle-stop tour of what the next few months is going to look like. And of course, we're really looking forward to seeing you all in person on that parents' evening in June, and also to welcoming all of your children on the transition days and seeing them all as we go out on our roadshow out into primary schools across Craven and across a significant amount of Lancashire as well now. I'm going to open it up to questions. If anyone has any questions they want to answer, to ask, if you would just pop them in the question and answer section of Teams. And I'm just going to open that up now so I can have a look and see what I can see on there. Miss Brown, would you like to pop your camera on and give everybody a wave and say hello while we're waiting? Put your microphone on as well.
Yeah, so I'm Miss Brown, I'm head of Year 7, and I'm really looking forward to meeting all the young people when they do come up to the Skipton Academy in Year 7 for September. But obviously we'll get to meet them a lot of time before then, so obviously going out to see them and then getting them up in June and hopefully seeing a lot of you parents on our transition evening. Mrs. Dudley, I think some hands went up, but I can't see anything in that.
I'm starting to see some questions coming up now, so that's really helpful. Thank you. Simon Hartley, your question, have you any concerns about the sudden shift to a sixth form entry? No, we're not concerned. We're really excited about it. We've got 5 forms in year 7, so it's not a big shift. It's just a natural step, natural progression. And of course, what it's enabled us to do is make some really fantastic appointments and expand our teaching staff. So no, we're not concerned. We're excited, and actually it extends and opportunities for our young people as well. So we're really looking forward to that, and I think it'll be of great benefit for the year 7s as well. The next question was, how big is each tutor group? Roughly 26 to 28 students per tutor group. But of course, we will spend time, once we've been to all the primary schools, putting all the children into the tutor group. So we'll have more of an idea of what that would look like nearer the time. But roughly 26 to 28 young people. I can't see any more questions. I did have hands up, but they've gone. Let me see if I can find the hands up. I will have to just try and turn your microphones on if that's possible.
I think it was Michelle, Mrs. Dudley.
Yes.
I don't know if you can hear me.
Yes, I can. Yeah, I'm just trying to enable your microphone. Michelle, I think you've got your hand up. You might have your microphone on mute. I don't know whether you would like to ask a question. No, I'm not sure. No, okay. Any other questions? If you could put them in the Q&A, that would be fantastic.
There's another one here, Mrs. Dudley. Do you have a uniform list?
Yes, we do have a uniform list. That will come out. The transition booklet that will be shared with you shortly has everything in it that you will need, including a uniform list and a PE kit list. Yeah, and the next question was about when might we start to see the effects of the increased income bringing additional subjects. We're already seeing the effects of that, actually, and I know Mr. McManus will talk about that in much more detail in June, but we've already been able to bring back music, we've been able to bring back food technology, we've been able to bring back textiles. So our curriculum offer, particularly at GCSE, is already broadening and in line with our counterpart schools. So yes, we're already seeing it, and that will continue as we go through the process.
There's another one here, Miss. Will school decide who will attend the addition day on the 26th of June? Can parents request this for the vulnerable day?
Sorry, oh yes, I've got it. Will school decide who will attend the additional day? Yeah, so what I would say is that's a really good question. We have about 30 places for that day, because it really needs to be something small that helps the children who are struggling with their anxiety about the transition. What I would say is, if you feel like your child would really benefit from that, have a conversation with the primary school and with the Year 6 teacher or the SENCO, and then when we go out to do those visits, they can then talk to us about that. We always ask them who they think, but obviously you're the experts in your child. So if you think that would be beneficial, talk to your Year 6 teacher.
And what sports clubs do you offer? Is cricket an option? Do you mind me answering this, Mr. Dudley?
Yes.
Yeah, cricket is an option, obviously in the summer term, and where we do fixtures with other local secondary schools, but we do have cricket, football, rugby, netball, basketball, athletics. So we do a range of sports clubs, just dependent on the season.
Fantastic, thank you. So are the children streamed on their SATs results? No. They're not streamed on their SATs results. The SATs results are really important, and that's absolutely that's data that we will use. In Year 7, the young people are taught in mixed ability groups in all subjects apart from maths, and they're put into sets in maths after some baseline assessments are done. we spend quite a bit of time in the September doing baseline assessments, including reading ages, reading comprehension, so we can make sure that we've got a really good understanding of where the young people are. And of course, SATS results will come into that, but they won't be the only driver. Will the recording of this meeting be available to those not available to join? Yes, we are recording it. So what we'll do is we'll edit it and then we will put it onto the website alongside the PowerPoint and the transition booklet.
And another one, Miss, about a history club.
Yes, we do have a history club. That's one that I forgot. Yes, we have a history club. Yeah. Fantastic. Any other questions from anyone? Okay. I'm fairly confident that this will have answered many questions, but probably raised many more. This is absolutely the start, isn't it, of this really exciting transition process and your journey and your child's journey over the next 5.5 years. So just to recap, if you have any questions or there's anything that we haven't covered today, or you feel like you'd like to get in touch with anyone, I'll just pop those email addresses back on the screen for you. What's really key is that we're able to get to know you and we keep the communication open. And you are confident that by the time your young people start in September, they know where to go, they know who to go to if they're struggling, and you feel that you have that contact as well, and you're confident that you know what the Academy will provide for your child as they go through their 5-year journey with us. So I will say goodbye, and from Miss Brown as well. I hope
See you later.
And have a lovely Easter holiday, and we will look forward to seeing you all over the next few months. Thank you very much. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.